We continue our discussion about Mars, and this time looking at some of the missions to Mars and the rovers that are exploring Mars. So, as I alluded to in another video, it's very difficult to successfully explore Mars. Many of the missions, especially early missions, failed to reach Mars, failed to accomplish what they were sent there to do. So flybys, orbiters, landers, rovers, stepping up in difficulty as you do these. And we're getting better at it. The scientists are getting better at getting the technology to Mars. A lot of failures on the early missions to Mars. Now, the Viking orbiter gives us this view of the surface of Mars and showing some of the major NASA exploration points. So the Phoenix probe to dig under the soil found ice. Viking 1 and Viking 2 do weather reports on Mars, explore the soil a little bit, search for life, but most would say the landers did not find life. Pathfinder rover, Opportunity, and Spirit. So let's talk about these landers. The Viking Lander in 1976, lots of dust and rocks, and kind of a bleak landscape. Then the rovers, the Viking was just a lander, stayed in place, had an arm it could send out to dig, but these rovers can get to the more interesting features on Mars. So we have the Sojourner, pretty small, toaster size, I think. Spirit and Opportunity, golf cart sized objects, and Curiosity, a car sized object. So the Sojourner from I think it's 1997, something like that, and the little rover here worked for about 3 months, was its life. The Spirit and the Opportunity rovers, the Mars exploration rovers, landed in 2004. Their landing was somewhat interesting. After a series of steps slowed down the spacecraft coming from Earth, the final landing was accomplished with the rover inside a big airbag. So it would bounce several times and protect the instrument inside the airbag. And then the Curiosity rover in 2012 in August used retro rockets, parachutes and retro rockets to slow down, and kind of an interesting sky crane that hopefully you'll get to see a video sometime of the landing. So these rovers, January 2004 for Spirit and Opportunity, Spirit got stuck in the sand, lost electrical power. Opportunity is still going on, doing good science, checking minerals, photography. And then August 2012, the Curiosity lander, the Mars Science Laboratory, on its way, driving to the peak of Gale Crater and investigating things along the way. Give you an idea of the change in the size of what's being delivered to Mars now. So the Spirit and the Opportunity rovers, 165 pounds for the device here, and 11 pounds of instruments. The Curiosity, almost 2,000 pounds for the device, but only 384 pounds delivered to the instrument package. Again, the Curiosity rover, showing a human here for scale, even though the human's up on a platform. We are talking about a car-sized object, but not with a full frame. To save weight, the frame is collapsible. And the Curiosity rover has a camera that it can extend outward and take photographs, and then taking many photographs, and they move the arm to a different position. But you can get an idea of some of the equipment, of air sensors and pressure gauges and different items. So the Sojourner rover, you can see the little rover over here. It's rolled down a little ramp out of its airbag. The Spirit rover, again, its airbag, and then slides down the ramp. And the Opportunity rover hit a bullseye. It actually landed in a small crater, and you can see the wheels as Opportunity was testing soil around here. Photography from the Spirit rover, just looking at the horizon and edge, and kind of a panorama put together by NASA, the Spirit rover camera being used for that. And an overhead view. If you look closely, you can see the Opportunity rover in there. I have to pause here just a minute. So again, the Opportunity rover has been identified in this photograph, just kind of underneath this, and you really need maybe more of the original photo to see the little black dot here. That's the Opportunity rover, but exploring around, and then the astronomers have fun naming things as they explore the different features that never been seen before, explored before. So here's 7 years of traveling from the Eagle Crater and Endurance Crater, Victoria Crater, to the Endeavour Crater. A larger target, the deeper down, reveals more rocks underneath. And some of the exploring around the crater that's been recorded there. The rovers drive around as remote controlled cars, and signals sent from Earth to tell the rover how far to drive, what angle to turn the wheels, what measurements to make, and so forth. And this slide is a little bit out of date, so 2004 and 2014 was the 10-year anniversary. So am I talking here in October 2014, we're coming up on 11 years of roving across the surface of Mars and still doing well. Curiosity rover now going past 2 years, and it does have a little bit more capability for driving itself across the surface, so when there aren't too many obstacles in the way, they can let the rover make a little better progress and drive itself along the way. Curiosity and some of the, from where it landed, you can see the retro rockets kind of blasted away soil where it landed. It did not use the airbag method, but used a really clever and involved sky crane to land. You ought to research that sometime, but they saw interesting deposits from some of the orbiting satellites recording minerals, and decided to explore there and then make their way around. So you ought to check out some of the articles about the Curiosity rover. Go to the universetoday.com site, and that's where this particular video is going to stop, giving a little idea of the rovers on Mars and what they're up to.